Hey Mike, we got this sign going on here?
Yeah.
What's this all about?
Well, this is about survival, is what it is. Um, our museum is going on in July. We'll start our 7th year as a full-time Bigfoot museum. We're open year-round, and I can tell you this, that it's not been easy to keep the doors open, because I don't know, anybody knows, even for a little museum as tiny as we are, you've got to pay the gas and electric bill. You have to pay a phone bill. You've got your internet connection. You know, all of this overhead. Plus, because we had to have a loan to be able to have this property operating, do the changes we needed to make the museum happen. We have a loan payment that we make, and we have to have a certain amount of insurance on the property because of that loan. You know, and so you start adding all this stuff up, and there's a few $1,000s that have to be paid out each month. And we don't have a payroll as such. We don't have people working here, but we have occasional volunteer help. But mostly it's just me, and now Ralph Jack's been working with me a lot more, partnering up, and it's great. And we're going to be making some changes around here this summer. And the changes are going to involve, well, the place is going to get even more dedicated to field research. And we're going to be developing that. But you see, we had a problem that the road was closed last summer, and we did 50% of the sales that we normally would do in a summer. And summer represents about 75% of the revenue stream to keep this place open. See, we don't charge an admission fee as such. But it's interesting. I got to say. Just a week or two ago, I was talking to my accountant. He was doing my taxes and so forth, and he was telling me, he said, Mike, he said, you've got to start charging an admission fee to your museum. He said, you're going to be living on the street soon if you don't do something about this. You can't just rely on people donating to the museum. You have something of value there. You're giving them, a half hour, in a lot of cases, education. You're bringing them up to date on the subject, and most of these people are enjoying that and getting something from it. That has value. So you should be able to charge an admission to your museum. Well, see, he and I have battled over this for the years, and of course, from a dollars and cents point of view, from his point of view, that's absolutely true. I really need to do that because if everybody that came in here paid a certain amount, it would make a huge difference. And because we have people who come in who don't pay anything, I had always hoped that the others would make up for it because they would really appreciate what this place is trying to accomplish. And I still think that's possible. And this sign here that I put up, I put it up because recently the bookkeeper, the accountant talked me into trying to charge admission just for a few days to see what it would be like, So I put a sign up on the outside with a admission fee, and here it is. And when I showed it to him, of course, he just laughed. Maybe you will too. But you'll see how reticent I am to charge admission. I made a sign that has so many apologies on it and disclaimers and stuff that it's almost funny, But I want to tell you something, and this is what I learned about this, and I think it's appropriate to talk about this now because I noticed that Lauren Coleman on his Cryptomundo blog was discussing the plight of people who think of Bigfooters as being crazy. See, I'm running a little museum here, which is also a business, and I'm self-employed as a Bigfoot guy, trying to pay my bills and keep myself alive with my research. So I'm doing research constantly and hoping that this will all pull together enough to pay the bills. Well, it's very difficult to do that when about who knows, a third to half the people who drive by this business probably think of it as a scam because they're skeptics, you see. So people are skeptical that there's a Bigfoot because they've been trained by the news media and so forth and the academic community that there is no Bigfoot, that it's silly. So they drive by and they look at this and they say, oh, that must be a themed gift shop. They're not even going to believe it's a real Bigfoot museum. And it's surprising how many people who walk in the door here go, oh, I had no idea that I was going to learn something here. And that's That's what's so great about it. So we tried this sign. We put it up on the front, and it said $2 each. Well, you see it. It's right here. Too many apologies and what, I guess. Too confusing, according to my accountant. But anyway, what happened was people drove up, they parked, they got out, they walked up to the front door, and they turned around and left. And see, I have a little a video here that I can observe this. I can see what happens outside the front without being out there. And so we did this for 2 days, and the only people who walked in the museum over the course of those 2 days were people who had been here before, and they didn't even see the sign because they were oblivious. They just walked in and said, "Hi, how you doing?" And they'd been in here before. Everybody else that came then drove up here specifically for the first time to come in the museum, turned around and left when they saw the entry sign. Isn't that interesting? Now, like I said, I don't know why that is. So I did a little immediate survey. I ran outside, and I said to this group of people that were getting in the car, I said, "Excuse me, I'm doing a survey, and can you tell me something? If I didn't have the sign on the door there, would you have come in?" And they said, "Well, of course, it's no problem." And they when I asked him, well, why had they chose to leave instead, he had no answer for that. He didn't, because I think he was embarrassed himself to realize that we weren't asking that much, and if they had made the trouble to come here and go to walk in the door, there's very few places in this day and age you can walk into like this and have a guided tour, because I'm here every day and I speak to everybody that comes in here if they want to speak, if they want to learn, and not have to pay for it. But anyway, we took this admission sign down. I'm not going to charge admission to the museum. I don't like the idea of it because I don't want people to even have a second to be able to say, "Oh, he's just doing it for the money," because that's what they'll do. You make some money while you're trying to prove that Bigfoot's real, and you're labeled some kind of a capitalist pig or something.